It's again an honor to speak on March 10th on the 52nd commemoration of Tibetan National Uprising Day. I want to talk about three things today. I want to talk about change, truth, and action. Just in the past 8 weeks, 12 weeks, we've seen revolution sweep across the Arab world, spread out into other parts of the world, even begin to show signs of life in China. The change that we have seen just 3 months ago, many people would have said was not possible. Even the US government, with the incredible amount of resources, intelligence gathering agencies, military, all of the resources available to the US government, and even this government didn't actually think Mubarak regime would fall. Even when it was happening, all of us watching, we were hoping, we were praying. We wanted the people in the streets of Cairo to be successful like the people in Tunisia. But even we weren't sure. I think even the people, you can read a lot of stories of people in the streets, the people who started the revolution in Egypt, they weren't sure that they would be successful. But look at the change that has taken place there. The idea, it's not easy to predict exactly when and how change will happen. If you look to Tunisia, it was one fruit vendor, one man selling fruit in the streets of Tunisia who had lit himself on fire in protest and ended up sparking. Who would have thought that one man would light the spark and ignite revolution across the world, essentially? These things are hard to predict, but while we watch this change unfold before our eyes, we have to look for the truth in all of these places. We have some common truths, not just over there in the Arab world, but in China and in Tibet, and for all of us. And the truth that I feel, we can see so clearly are the truth about people wanting to be free, wanting to have rights, wanting to be respected, wanting your basic human dignity respected, wanting to be prosperous and happy and successful and not wanting to live in fear. So maybe we can't predict exactly how and when the change will come, but we do know that these truths are there. And they're not different for the Chinese, they're not different for Tibetans. Right now, that's what some people want to do. They want to look to the Arab world and say, well, it happened here and it happened there, but it's different in China. It's different in Tibet. Forget that. Even after Tunisia fell, and Egypt was in the middle of an uprising, you can look at articles written just a month ago that talk about how Egypt is different than Tunisia. The same things won't happen in Egypt because, well, there's 81 million people. And Mubarak's security forces are much stronger and much better. And the Mubarak regime is much better at letting people have a little space to vent some steam and then reining them back in. So it's not the same in Egypt as Tunisia, and probably it's not going to be successful. And look, what happened? So we have to think of these truths. There's truths about people, there's truths about governments. The Chinese government is no different. No empire lasts forever, no government lasts forever, and certainly not when you lie and you cheat and you steal from your people and you repress them and you plunder and you imprison. The more you do that, the more you ensure your inevitable downfall. As Wangchu Shagaba just said, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before the Chinese Communist Party loses the legitimacy that today maybe keeps China together. This economic, miracle that they've created over there. Well, the miracle is based on a lot of lies and a lot of suffering, and at the same time, it can't go on forever. There is no growth at that scale that can last forever. So I think we need to stop talking about if change can happen in Tibet and China, and start thinking about when it happens. What does it look like? What do we need to do to be ready? And that's where we get to action. And this is how we all need to be thinking. 52 years ago today, our people took to the streets in Lhasa and took action in a way that saved our nation, that saved our precious leader. They took destiny into their hands. Many, many thousands of them died in the streets in these next couple of weeks. And many, many, many thousands suffered so much in the decades that followed. But they took action then. We see people taking action now. We see young Tibetans, bloggers, writers, intellectuals, nomads, farmers, speaking out, taking action, standing up and doing things that even today, even in this terrible, terrible climate of fear and suffering that exists inside Tibet, they're taking action. And if you look around the world, our exiled Tibetan community is taking action. Everywhere, in so many different ways, in so many incredibly powerful ways, Tibetans in exile are taking action. So now for us, and this is part of the work that we're doing now, part of the new work I'm doing with Tibet Action Institute, it's all about being prepared. I'm not worried about if it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. I'm just wondering when, and will we be ready? And what can we do to be ready? And the Arab world, the revolution taking place there now and that have just taken place, they can teach us some lessons. And there are lessons in how, it's not just about technology and the new use of social media. Those are just tools, those are weapons, non-violent weapons that are incredibly powerful. It's about those tools, those weapons, used in combination with good strategy, with good planning. If you can fuse the technology with really good strategy and then train and be prepared, if we can do this, there is no doubt that we will be successful. There is no doubt that we will see change in Tibet and in China. We inspire the Chinese. Look at what Kang Bai-Chao said today at the UN. In an emotional voice, a Chinese dissident leader said, "I've learned so much from you. You inspire me." 6 million Tibetans, it's not just about us, it's about what we represent to all sorts of people living under the Chinese repression. Tibetans in Tibet rose up in 2008. It's no coincidence that then the Uyghurs rose up the following year in East Turkestan. And that's why the Chinese government fears us, and that's why they fear His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We may be few people, we may have few resources that you can see, but our spirit, our hope, the incredible and undying battle that started in '59, March 10th in the streets in Lhasa, that lasts till this day, and that is no small feat. Change, truth, and action. I think we're there. I think we're getting there. Let us be prepared. And absolutely, absolutely, until the final moment, we will not be able to say exactly how it's all going to go down. But know that it will go down. Know that it will happen. Know that they will fall and we will rise. And as we're saying right now at Students for a Free Tibet, let this generation finish what they started 52 years ago in our capital city, in our beautiful capital city in Tibet. Tibet will be free.